I'm Katherine M. and I'm delighted to be back in Toronto directing the Canadian Opera Company's first ever production of Nabucco by Giuseppe Verdi. If ever there was an opera that made full use of the art form's capacity for massive scale, this is the one. The show boasts an epic storyline, huge orchestra, and dozens of choristers on stage, making it an unforgettable theatrical experience. Today I'm going to walk you through some of the opera's backstory, as well as things to listen for in the score, so you can fully enjoy the spectacle that is Verdi's Nabucco. So imagine this. The year is 1840 and Giuseppe Verdi, who we now recognize as one of the greatest opera composers of all time, is feeling like throwing in the towel. The past 2 years of his life had been unkind, riddled with disappointment and sorrow. Verdi was already mourning the sudden loss of his wife and infant children, and then his second opera, Un giorno di regno, closed after a single performance. It was a total failure. It was from this grief-stricken place that Verdi swore never to compose again. Fortunately, for all of us, the director Bartolomeo Merelli convinced him to look at the new libretto that was in need of a composer. As the story goes, a frustrated Verdi threw the libretto onto his table with such force that it opened up to a page where a particular line of text caught his eye. Va pensiero sull'ali dorate, go thoughts on golden wings. Verdi became obsessed with this line, and note by note, Nabucco came together over the next year. The opera opened in 1842 and was a colossal success, saving Verdi from early retirement. In fact, Verdi would later cite this pivotal moment as the true beginning of his artistic career. Nabucco is loosely based on the biblical tale of the tyrannical Babylonian king and his daughter's fight for the throne. Verdi's opera utilizes the conflict of the Babylonians and Hebrew people as the dramatic backdrop of the interpersonal stories of romance and family strife. Nabucco is consumed by his desire to control the city of Jerusalem. But while his focus is fixed on conquering others, there's a power struggle within the royal family. Nabucco's daughters, Finena and Abigail, each have a claim to the throne. And there's a Shakespearean King Lear quality to the drama that unfolds here, with each daughter vying for the crown and their father's love. And, as if that wasn't enough, an unlikely union has formed between the Babylonian princess Finena and Ismaele, the nephew of the king of Jerusalem. Against this tense political backdrop, the lovers are caught between their hearts and their respective loyalties. No spoilers here, but I can say several surprising plot twists ensue, which give Verdi plenty of material to form the basis for one of his most rousing operatic masterpieces. Probably the most famous piece of music from Nabucco is also one of the most famous opera choruses of all time, Va pensiero. The Act 3 chorus is a dramatization of Psalm 137, which begins with the words, "By the waters of Babylon we sat down and wept," and it has long served as an anthem of hope and community for music lovers around the world. In the opera, it unites the Hebrews in song, allowing them to lament their oppression while remembering the beauty of their homeland. Outside of the opera, the piece has been performed or referenced during a number of historical periods of significant strife, including the Italian reunification movement, and as the season opener to the Metropolitan Opera soon after the 9/11 disaster. Most recently, you may have heard it sung during the global lockdown triggered by the COVID pandemic. Musicians around the world performed the piece from their isolation on Zoom or from their open windows, lifting up their voices to one another. Beyond the opera's choral standouts, there are also some significant moments of quiet power and intensity. One of these pieces is Vieni o Levita, a prayer sung by the high priest Zachariah in the unusual accompaniment of 6 cellos. There is also a dramatic mad scene in Act 4, performed by the baritone singing Nabucco. Most notably, however, the music for Abigail is extremely demanding. Verdi's scoring for this character requires a soprano whose range spans from the very low to very high, with dramatic force. Lucky for us, we have an incredible cast who are world-renowned for their powerhouse vocals. This will be an absolute treat for the ears. In an opera perhaps best known for the starring role of its ensembles, I think that the choices of these individuals still deserve investigation. Yes, a community keeps them together, moving forward, providing a shared faith to fall back on in times of strife. But as this opera shows, primarily through the individual stories of a father and his daughters, belief systems can be questioned, examined, and changed. I believe this is why we continue to produce Nabucco. It reminds us that in a time of collective thinking, we possess the power to make individual choices, to be wrong with grace, and to evolve bravely, even when it feels like time is up. There's no shortage of reasons to run to the theater this fall and see Nabucco at the COC. For starters, this is a historic first staging of the opera at the company. The buzz in the building is going to be incredible. Then there's the music. If you're looking for the all-encompassing wall of sound experience that you simply can't get anywhere else, this is the opera, and this is the venue. And of course, trust me when I say you don't want to miss one of the best choruses in the world singing Va Pensiero. It's the kind of moment that lives in your memory and your heart forever. See you there.